Hi. No, you're not on the wrong channel. I am actually out on my bike, outside, riding in some fairly glorious autumnal weather actually. Late autumn, it's really winter, isn't it? We're in mid-December now, but it feels autumnal. It's about 10 degrees, and I had the urge to come out and ride in this glorious weather. I've been wanting to ride my bike for a while, but as I've said on previous videos, I actually feel pretty self-conscious about how I look. I'm very overweight at the minute, and you know, we are what we are as human beings, aren't we? But how do you lose that weight? Well, you've got to do some exercise and get over yourself, haven't you? And just crack on, really. And one of the main reasons for wanting to come out on my bike, aside from the fact that I have very much missed riding outside, has really been the fact that next year I've got quite a big ride coming up. I mean, not as big as this year's, not as big as the Grand Tour in terms of its sort of length of time, but it's over 3 days and it's roughly about 175 kilometers a day. And my brother and I are going to be riding from London to Paris over 3 days. And it's an organised thing. I'm not doing it myself, thank God. And it's very extravagant indeed, really. But my brother and I, my brother's 5 years older than me, we don't have masses in common. I actually can't talk an awful lot about my brother's job. It's going to make it very interesting filming when it comes to doing the ride, because my brother's fairly private in terms of the work he does. We're very different, and over the last I guess 10 years, maybe a little longer, my brother's kind of got into cycling. He was heavily involved in the Olympics, and I think that really drove his desire and love of cycling on. And morning. Didn't say good morning. Too fat to say good morning to. You know, it's been common ground for the pair of us over the last 10, 12 years or so, and takes it very seriously, like he does take everything seriously. And it's actually my brother's fault I got into cycling in a weird way round. Started buying cycling magazines when I was about 9, when my parents and my brother used to go to meetings about him going on expeditions and stuff, and I used to get really bored, so I used to go and buy these cycling magazines to pour through as a kid, and that was the start of the obsession, really. So it's kind of his fault. And we decided that I was 45 in the middle of November. My brother was 50. We were only born about a week apart, but 5 years apart. So our birthdays are very close together. So my brother was 50, I was 45. My brothers wanted to do this London to Paris ride for a while, and if I'm honest, it's not really my sort of bag. I don't really like sportives. I'd rather pin a number on, in all honesty. And the sort of more social, bigger rides I'd rather do with the clubs. And so I've never really done a sportive, and I'm not 100% sure this is really a sportive. It's a posh sportive, and I'm sure it was going to be full of dentists and lawyers and people who, for them, this 3-day extravagance isn't that extravagant. But for my brother and I, my brother approached me and just said, hey look, you know, I have to share a room with somebody, and I'd rather it not ruin my 3 days by finding that the person that I'm sharing with isn't very agreeable. Would you like to come and do this with me? As a sort of one-off, really, because my brother thinks he's getting too old to be able to put in these distances. And I just thought, you know what, I actually think it would be lovely to spend 3 days, you know, 5, 6, 7 hours on a bike a day with my brother, and just spend a bit of time with him, because since we sort of moved to Bristol in the late 80s, I haven't really spent any time with him. And we chat on WhatsApp, but you know, I probably haven't seen him for probably 3 years. And I'd just like to spend that prolonged period of time with him. We've never done that, not even as kids. We weren't that, I wouldn't say close, we just weren't in each other's pockets, always doing other stuff. And so I think it would be nice. And I don't know why I'm justifying it, but I think it's because it is an extravagance, and I don't want it, I guess, to sort of seem to be something that you know, isn't taken lightly. This is really a once in a lifetime opportunity to spend a bit of time on my bike with my brother, and that's going to be so exciting. But we've also opted to go in the third group out of 5. The first 2 are racing, and then the one underneath that is averaging 26 to 28k an hour, which on your own over 3 days of 175k, you know, it's over 100 miles a day. Might be a bit taxing, but you've got to take into account that these are going to be fairly big groups of about 100 to 150 riders, and it's a rolling roadblock, which is going to be very exciting. But it also means you don't have to worry about junctions and stuff. So hiding in the bunch, which I'm very good at doing on club rides, and not having to stop at junctions will have an immediate impact on the average speed. It just depends, I guess, to some extent on the quality of the group's riding, but I'm hoping a group at that speed will very quickly sort out the weaker riders or the less experienced riders, because as we all know, riding in a group has its own set of challenges and demands mentally, perhaps less so physically, that awareness of where that rider is or where they're likely to move, following the wheel, where the wind's coming from, and all the rest of it. So that's challenge number 1, and essentially over those 3 days we're going to be riding into Paris morning, going to be riding into Paris, arriving on the Saturday before the final stage of the Tour de France. And the cool thing, and what really does make this once in a lifetime, is that we're going to get to ride and do a circuit of the Champs-Élysées the day before the Tour does it, when all the roads are closed and all the banners and the podium and everything are up, and then we'll get to see the final stage, the sprint finish on the Champs on the Sunday, and it's going to be awesome, and I'm very much looking forward to it, and I'm very excited, and I'm very, very lucky to be able to do this. But I've got to get fit, so I'm out on my bike and it feels like hard work today. My body's so blind it's never ridden a bike before, but that's okay, because I've been here before and I know what it takes to be able to ride, you know, 100+ kilometers a day for 3 weeks. All I've got to do is work out how to ride 100 miles a day for 3 days, and it's going to be faster than I did the Grand Tour by about 2 or 3 kilometers an hour. I think I averaged around about 24, 25k an hour over the 21 stages in the summer. So there we are, that's where we're at. Oh, see you back in the office. Always forget to do this. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below. That was a good ride. I enjoyed being out on my bike. In fact, this week has been pretty solid training wise in terms of just up here, not just like ticking off training things, but just the thought process of, I'm gonna go for a bike ride, I'm gonna go for a run, I'm gonna go for a swim. Training with the squad was great in the pool, tough session, couple of treadmill runs, doing some intervals, not long stuff, but you know, my mind is kind of starting to think, yeah, I'm training again now. It feels like a habit starting to creep back in, an old habit, a familiar habit. You know how old habits are easy to slip back into, and this is feeling a bit like that, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been really good fun. So yes, we've got London to Paris. London to Paris is happening very end of July, 21st to 24th of July, which will take us into Paris, ready to watch the final stage of the Tour de France on the 24th. But before then, I'm planning to do the Bristol Triathlon finally, all focus on that triathlon base next year for the 12th of June. Now, Tough Runner, who put that event on, have got both a sprint and Olympic distance race planned. This year, they only had the sprint distance. Now, the Olympic distance in Bristol was always the one that I felt was ideal for this city because of the flat, fast road that we had for the 40k bike ride.
and the 1500 metre swim in the harbour side, and then the trail run out underneath the suspension bridge. So that's on the card. So we've got 12th of June, Bristol Triathlon. Then we've got end of July, 21st through to 23rd in Paris, doing London to Paris. And then a self-supported event, I'm thinking off the back of this, my third thing I'm going to do next year is, if you watch the channel, you'll know that I'm a massive fan of Mark Beaumont, who rode around the world in 78 days. The way he did that, the format he did it in, is to ride 4 4-hour blocks a day. The aim is to ride approximately 100 kilometers a day, so essentially riding 400 kilometers each day. Now, I'd love to know if I can do that for a start. So the plan in August, probably late August, would be to see if I can do a single day where I do these 4 4-hour blocks, aiming to reach 400 kilometers in one day. Now, I know that's not super distances for a lot of people, but for me, that's a long way. The idea of riding for 16 hours, even if they are broken into 4 4-hour blocks, is pretty insane for somebody that doesn't really like long distance riding. Now, I know I'm starting to sound like I'm a person that does enjoy long distance riding, but I still get pretty bored. So I think that's going to be a good challenge. I'd really like to know if it's possible for me to do that with a view. The idea is that in the long run, I'd really like to do Land's End to John O'Groats, which is about 1,200 kilometers from the very brief research that I've done, or a little bit more than that, in that same format. See if I can do Land's End to John O'Groats in about 3.5 days, doing 400 kilometers a day. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, because I don't know if I can ride 400 kilometers in one day, let alone 3.5 days. So that's the plan with that. That will be 2022. And that's a pretty good spread of things, I think, in terms of a triathlon, and then London to Paris, and then a 400k day. That's the plan. Lots of cycling going on as per usual, but the riding and the running and the swimming will back that up. Training's good at the minute, feeling super happy, feeling very relaxed. I haven't felt this good mentally and sort of physically. Not that I'm in great physical shape, but I just feel well for a long time. And I've also acquired, as part of the winter training stuff, you might have spotted it in the videos, this pair of shoes, Physique Arctica R5s. Now, I'm trying to do a review of these, which will come out, well, I say in the next couple of weeks, but ironically, I'm waiting for some really bad weather. I'd avoid riding in really bad weather like the plague normally, but these shoes need a tough test. They look pretty sturdy, so that'll be coming out pretty soon. So anyway, that's plans for 2022. I will have another video coming out between now and Christmas, so I will hold off wishing you a happy Christmas for now. But for those of you that are kind of finishing up work this week, I hope you have a good last few days of work coming up, and that the run up to Christmas is nice and easy and enjoyable for you. I will see you on the next video, which will be next week, and it will be the last one before Christmas. Have a good week. See you next week.